Kratsios for that warm introduction, and thank you to the entire team at ARPA-E for inviting me to join at this year's Energy Innovation Summit. I was told that there are nearly 2,000 people here at the event from 16 different countries in 45 states. That is absolutely incredible and such a wonderful thing to see. I spent a number of years in Silicon Valley before making the move to DC last January, and one thing that gets discussed a lot there is the power of collision, which in a room like this may bring to mind potentially atomic particles, but in the tech world, it's about serendipity, randomly meeting your next co-founder or your next investor, just walking down the street, at a coffee shop, at a party, whatever it may be. It's striking up a conversation, it's comparing notes, it's talking about what makes you excited and what drives you to do the work that you do every day. When I look around this room and see the fantastic innovations on display at the Technology Showcase, I get really excited for what will undoubtedly be the collisions happening right here and throughout the day. At the Office of Science and Technology Policy at the White House, where I work, we think a lot about the role that emerging technologies can play in the security, the prosperity, and the health of our nation. Transforming research and development into emerging technologies that is getting new technology to the point where outside investors and industry can take over is crucial to that effort. Emerging tech like autonomous systems, drones, driverless cars, biometrics, energy storage, gene editing, machine learning, and quantum computing, all these have some of the highest potential to drive the economy into the future and create entirely new industries. Much of what we do at the White House is try to figure out what the existing regulations that are in place that can help successfully guide those nascent technologies to the marketplace, and which ones hamper those industries' abilities to develop, grow, and contribute to American economic and technological leadership. A great example of this is with unmanned aerial systems, or drones. There was this amazing story that came out of Hurricane Harvey last year, which many of you may have heard about, where technology developed out of an ARPA-E program was deployed by drones to survey gas lines and detect whether or not there were methane leaks. By sending UAS with cutting-edge sensor technology into damaged areas, crews were able to examine critical infrastructure without putting additional human lives at risk. This pairing of two emerging technologies to help save lives should be a total no-brainer, but under existing FAA regulations, it's actually really hard to do. Right now, commercial drone operators are not allowed to fly their UAS over people, beyond visual line of sight, or at night without special FAA waivers. Now, during disasters like Harvey and recovery operations, like the aftermath of the hurricanes, many of these FAA waivers are granted pretty easily and pretty quickly. But what about outside of emergency situations? If this technology can help save lives and make inspections easier and more efficient, shouldn't it be available to utilities year-round if local communities want them? Last year, we embarked on a way to do just that. We heard directly from the drone industry about this particular issue, and in response, President Trump signed a presidential memorandum in November directing the Secretary of Transportation to develop a drone pilot program. The program is going to allow state and local communities to partner with drone companies to test operations that are normally restricted under FAA rules. If any of you are familiar with the difficult process of regulatory change, you know that this can be easier said than done. But we're looking towards the future, where commercial drones can be integrated into the national airspace safely and smartly. Now, another area where OSTP is looking at facing similar challenges is with automated vehicles. In the case of driverless cars, we're looking at decades of regulations that grew out of the way that cars have been built and operated for 100 years. NHTSA's safety standards are rooted in vehicles that have a steering wheel, have a brake pedal, have rear view mirrors. They encapsulate driver, passenger, and pedestrian safety, dependent upon a human operator making human decisions with human abilities. Now, these are very, very thorny puzzles. Even before we talk about community adoption, how we get people to understand the safety benefits that can come with autonomous vehicles. That's where programs like ARPA-E's Next Car can help. By predicting future traffic and road conditions, this is the kind of technology that can improve vehicle efficiency and can make travel to our nation's roads more safe and more efficient. This is very much an area where maybe the existing regulations, the rules of the road, if you will, aren't able to keep up with the pace of technological transformation. We need to do a better job as policymakers to help figure out how we can enable these technologies to thrive. Another area that we're looking at very closely is nuclear power. Although it's been around for a long time, we still very much consider it an emerging technology when you think about the many barriers to innovation that have been holding it back, especially in the area of new reactor concepts. That's why last year we were so excited to see ARPA-E announce a new initiative to support and design the development of new advanced nuclear reactors. Nuclear energy provides over half of clean energy in this country and is tremendously reliable baseload power supply. As part of a robust and diverse energy portfolio, affordable nuclear energy has the potential to really transform our relationship with energy. We need to be able to have the capability to develop and deploy these innovative reactors so the next generation of plants can be safer, more robust, and more cost-effective. America is a nation of innovators. Unlike any other country on earth, we have always prized our entrepreneurial spirit and the drive to strike out and try new things, to learn from failure, and to use that to build something even stronger. But we cannot allow the promise of tomorrow to be hamstrung by the bureaucracies of the past. You here today are the innovators, creating that promise of tomorrow. Just like with drones and with driverless cars and with nuclear power, I encourage you to reach out to us, the policymakers. Let us know what's holding you back. Let's work together to discover that pathway that will transform the incredible innovations coming out of ARPA-E every day into the everyday technologies of tomorrow. Thank you so much for your time.